is in the mind. Danger is very real, but fear is in the mind. Hi, my name is Samantha and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a beautiful Saturday. Fear is in the mind because basically not everyone has the same fear. People are in a lot of fear right now, and basically health and disease all start within the mind. So someone asked me to better elaborate on this. Basically, I would like to appreciate the mind as kind of being like the powerhouse of the entire body. So the mind is what gives off electric signals. It tells you if you are happy, if you are sad. It also picks up on energy or people around you. It tells you thoughts that you think about yourself. So basically, the mind is not just the brain. It also has to do with how your cells operate, how you as an individual operate, how your life is going right now. It all depends on the thoughts that you think and what kind of relationship you have with your mind. So fear is part of the mind. Now, if people were not in fear at all, there is something wrong with them. But most people live through fear. Or what I like to call determinism. So I did do a video on free will, and basically determinism is doing something for a consequence and not actually out of your free will. So free will is kind of like a space of choice. Determinism is I don't have a choice, which is basically fear. So fear, health, and disease all start in the mind. It's your perception and your experiences and how you view them as a whole. If you would like to change your perception or change your view of yourself, you will have to change your perception and you will have to change the way that you operate. So most people live through fight or flight response. That's why so many people struggle with fatigue today. It's because they are always on fight or flight response. Flight or flight response does not allow you to think with your entire mind. It only has a limited view of perception. So if you would like to be more healthier or be more happier or limit yourself to fear, you will have to start within your mind. So determinism is a good way to start, and most people actually don't realize that they're living through determinism. And it's based on fear and the fact that people are afraid to basically have their own opinions, look different than everyone else, live differently than everyone else, have a different belief system than everyone else. They are constantly living in fear, and they are afraid to think outside the box for themselves. So sorry, this video is completely unedited, and I am just saying what I intuitively need to say. So I appreciate you guys and your patience. Basically, to sum it up, I think people are in fear because they are trying to be something that is not attainable. Basically, fear is all about control. It is all about basically not wanting to be punished, and honestly I feel that people have a very, very deep-seated fear of being punished, so they live their life through that. So if you were to watch my previous video, punishment is from immense amount of guilt and shame. Most people live through a lot of guilt and shame, which also causes fear. So, if you like to be healthy and happy and joyful, then you will have to use your free will, and you will have to step out of determinism. This is very, very difficult and a different mindset to accomplish. But basically, in order to be more mindful in general, you have to be willing to ask yourself why you do the things that you do, and if you actually believe what you're doing. So most people don't have time to stop and think about why they're actually doing what they're doing. So they go into, they kind of move into this go with emotions types of things, and they don't actually question their life, or they feel like they don't have any meaning in life. So they just kind of adopt everyone else's beliefs to be able to fit into other people's value system. So oftentimes they don't have a good sense of self. So this is where fear swoops in, and it definitely affects the way that they think. I've never seen a person that is healthy, or has a quote-unquote sound mind. Honestly, I don't really know one person that has a quote-unquote sound mind. That's completely dependent on the person. But I've never met a person that has a severe case of an illness that was not living a life that was meaningful or true to them, or a person that was loving or generous. I've never met a person that has had a really big disease, or like cancer or Alzheimer's, or something that's very life altering, in my opinion, that wasn't living through their personal truth. I believe that disease and health really have to do with the way that you view yourself, the way you view your environment, what you put in your mouth, what you put through your eyes, what you listen to, the type of people that you hang out with, and especially how you feel about yourself. I believe that certain diseases affect you based on what resonates with you. If you were to look at the psychology of different types of diseases and who gets it, it is all based on fear. And fear is a very limiting perspective, and people are in fear, and I feel when I walk outside every day, I can feel the fear of everyone every day, which is why they act so aggressive, which is why they act so impulsive, which is why they act so hostile. It's because they live in fear, and they are afraid of basically punishment, in my opinion. And what I mean by punishment is not really what most people think about. It's basically, if I think for myself, if I believe for myself, if I do something for myself, if I look a certain way because I want to do it for myself, there's always that fear of that social isolation, or that no one will like me, or that I will be punished in a way that I'm like bad. So that's why I really try to help people understand the concept of good and bad. It's completely based on a perception, and if we could actually throw out like good and evil and focus on things that resonate with people, or when I say by resonate, it means basically, I could put it into terms, is what they relate to. What you relate to you will definitely show in your physical appearance, or your day-to-day life, the job that you pick, how you feel about yourself. What you relate to, people are going to see, and they're going to see that about you. So if you could think of the word resonate with, it's relate to. So people are afraid of being punished, and punishment oftentimes separates people because they don't want to feel like they're a bad person or a bad human being. So oftentimes people will separate from each other. So this is one of the worst pains for a human being, is separation. So If you get anything out of this video, it is fear is in the mind. Health is in the mind, disease is in the mind. And I really encourage people to ask themselves why they're doing things on a day-to-day basis, what their value system is, and how you can stay true to yourself, because it will open your perspective of your mind and it will allow you to be more connected with other people. I appreciate you guys so much, and I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you in my next video.